What's up, everybody? We're back again, bringing you some wonderful joy on this 4th of July with this Tuesday episode. That's right, you're listening to the Dirty and Driven Podcast. My name is James Devinney. I am your host on this fine Independence Day. This is the show where we bring people to the blue-collar world, teach them how to kick ass. Our mission here is to gain, train, and retain people in the trades. We just want to make absolute killers out of people in the construction world. I am joined today by two co-hosts. One of them you may know as... He's smiling. The Talent. You gonna say hi?
Say you'd like to bring in the talent. Say that. So right now I'd like to bring in the talent.
So right now I'd like to bring in the talent, Mr. KCD.
How are you?
Our other guest, one that hasn't been on in a while, but is a fan favorite. That's right. My beautiful wife, Victoria.
Hey, you don't have like a cool, like, also known as...
Also known as the woman who walked 100,000 steps with me yesterday.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Hey, whenever she had to have like her own theme music, whenever you introduce her, he goes, "No, Victoria."
I could add in. Remember
I like
song?
that, yeah.
Or I could add in like a...
Oh, gosh.
I'm not going to do that. I could have. There's a button on the board for it. I can be like a really shitty DJ and hit this button and she goes... I won't, though.
You need to have the ding button for the or whatevers.
Ding.
You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Or whatever.
Ding.
Ding.
We have, Victoria, we have a or whatever. We noticed that we say that a lot. And I've noticed that a lot of people, since we pointed it out, that a lot of podcasts and talk shows, like radio talk shows, they do the or whatevers.
Yeah.
It's the new it's the new
Well, it encompasses, if you didn't identify exactly, if you didn't articulate exactly what you wanted to say, when you say or whatever, it encompasses everything. That way I said or whatever.
It's a catch-all.
It's kind of like, what were you saying before? You were talking about how you're doing some trench work in your front yard and you asked some plumber friends and they said, well, it should.
Yeah. I was trenching in sandy loam. And need to trench 18 to 24 inches down to get below the freeze point for a water line. And I've never trenched before. And they offered up they said a walk behind trencher should be sufficient enough to do what I needed to do. And I talked to Nolan, yeah, that should do it. And so both of them said should. Well, come to find out, it'll dig down 24, 30, 36 inches. This trencher does, but it sloughs in and fills back up to where it's only about 12 inches, and that sand just immediately sloughs back in and it packs. So now, like I mentioned to you all, I'm going with the mini excavator.
The old Mini X.
Yeah, and it's not like I have one, parked in my shop.
Yeah, you don't just have a Mini X laying around?
Nah.
Oh, dang. Going to rent one, huh?
Yep. But at least I can do some other work with that too. I got some other ideas.
Got some other ideas?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's great about renting a Mini X is you can just beat the absolute shit out of them. It's like, have you seen the meme going around? I posted it on Dirty and Driven, but it showed two side-by-side Mini X's, and one just was a blank one. It just said, these are not the same machine. Don't get it twisted. The one on the left is a Mini X. The one on the right is a concrete breaker, tree remover, this, that, the other. And it had a United Reynolds sign on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you beat the crap out of them. But that's what they're there for. Beat the crap out of them.
Well, we're going to find out. Getting it tomorrow or yesterday.
Getting it yesterday.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm getting it yesterday when this podcast comes out.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like Back to the Future.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on then because we're
Fun
also
fact: we time travel in this podcast.
yeah, we're going back to the future.
Then once it's all said and done, I'm going to put in a one call and see if I guessed right or
After it's done?
yeah, or whatever.
811.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool, though. We're also renting some equipment to get this podcast studio set up on Tuesday. And by renting, I mean borrowing. Because we did have a friend who had a man lift laying around.
Today. You mean today?
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are doing that today?
We're doing that today when this podcast airs.
All right.
Are you busy?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you busy?
Yeah, okay, I guess. Make sure I'm free.
Everybody's probably just scratching their heads going, what are these guys talking about?
It's okay. I mean, yeah, you didn't already like talk to Casey about this?
Speaking to your mic.
You didn't talk to Casey about this?
Yeah.
Are you just now hearing about this?
Kind of.
James,
Kind of. He's heard about it.
you've got to be better about telling people things.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, he mentioned about recording a podcast Tuesday. If I was interested, and I said I have to see how my plans shake out. He goes, "Yeah, I want to record it with on the new table." And I was like, "Man, we got a small window between." But he never told me that it was going to be moved today.
You know,
Tuesday.
James's calendar's open, aka everyone's calendar's open.
Yeah, we work around him.
Yep. I'm the center of it all. Dude, I got to ask you about this story. Tell me about this dead raccoon you came across.
Well, got notified that from a landlord that I do a little bit of maintenance for, that there was a small leak underneath the vanity. And then also it appeared that there might have been some mold accruing. And the 2 and 2 was, well, maybe that bad smell is the mold. Can you take a look at it? I said, yeah, once I get freed up from the pipeline job, I'll be there first thing. Unless if you want to wait for a plumber, which who knows how. Yeah, no problem. Show up at 5 p.m. Very minor drip on the shut off, the hot side for the vanity. Very minimal mold. I mean, nothing to, but immediately when I opened the door to the house to go in, it smelled radish. It smelled like if you ever smelled dead mice or rats.
Like in the house?
Yes. Which you know the difference between a mouse and a rat, right?
I mean, I know the difference of them physically. I don't know the difference of the smells.
Mice is a little varmint when he's inside the house,
Right.
but when he goes out the front door and he's outside, he becomes a rat.
Oh.
But then when he goes back in, he's a mouse. Nah, I just made that up. It was off of the show. Anyway, I smelled that god awful bad, and I knew this house had a crawl space. So I started addressing the shut-off leak first. And then I had been prepared, had my coveralls, all that goodie. I opened up the access to the crawl space and shone my light over where, before I went in there, I've got video of it. The vents on the crawl space had, kind of right outside where it was, had not only flies, like they're trying to buzz, and they all were accumulated to this vent just outside of where he was.
Ooh.
But it had trails of ants and bugs kind of going up, access into, they all were going to, the circle of life to go to their food source.
There's just thousands of bugs, huh?
There was a lot. So I was kind of prepared what I was getting ready to shine the light toward, and I looked over, and sure enough, probably about 20 or 30 feet in along the stem wall, there was that dead raccoon there. I mean, that was the smell. That was the source of. So the proper PPE, if hindsight, if I could have done anything different, I would have had a very super duper good full face mask with the filters.
Yeah.
But I did the old.
You did the old cowboy?
I crawled in there. I had on a couple pairs of nitrile gloves. I had a couple trash bags, coveralls, face mask. Did the old army crawl up to it, and I had some of this enzyme pet odor killer. Got close to him. Dude, when I got close, which I showed you some video of it, but
Yeah.
when I got close, the flies, all that, they were just getting it. The maggots, all that goodie. I sprayed. And believe it or not, it choked down the smell. It at least put a mask on it.
Oh, good.
So I could get close. And each time that I would go in and get ready to grab this thing, because I'm laying on my stomach, because there's not a lot of head space in this crawl space. Mm-hmm. Each time I'd go in, I'd do the old, And then I try to do my work, I'm holding my breath because I'm real close to him. And then I put him in and it didn't take long when it was all said and done, but I dragged that bad boy out. But that video that I showed to you, James, man, you had the light real close and the eyes were completely gone. It was obviously decomposing, but you could see just a ton of little just maggots and stuff. Yeah, just inside of it, just like a ball of.
It was Thanksgiving for those.
Yeah. Yeah, they hated that whenever I, pulled that bad boy out. So then I went back the next day with a small shovel and I scooped up all where he had pretty much oozed out into the dirt. I scooped all that into a couple trash bags, sprayed it down real good and pulled it out.
That is disgusting.
I'm sure you noticed like a big smell difference
Huge. And then also the tenant is gone right now and he has no plants and he has no pets and there's no people. You got to get rid of the 3 Ps. But I ozone that bad boy for a little over 24 hours with 2 of my machines.
Oh, nice.
Huge difference, man.
Dude, those ozone machines are a game changer.
Yes. You have to get rid of the source of the smell the best you can. Whatever it is, once you clean that and you still have the remnants, then those things come in. But you have to also get the humidity level down. If it's high humidity, they can't work as good. So you know me, I cranked his AC down. He had it up to 80 or so, and I cranked it down while I ran this because I wanted to pull the moisture out of the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's
Dude,
awesome.
That's nasty. That freaking raccoon.
But, like old Mike Rowe on his show, somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah.
Amen, brother.
One-stop shop.
See, that's always a fear I have because one of our houses has a crawl space that's kind of open, and I know cats have been getting underneath it. And I want to seal that thing off, but I'm so freaking afraid of sealing it off to where they're trapped inside. And then now we got like a dead cat in there that we got to go get out.
Well, see, and there is a small possibility that I might have been the culprit that trapped this guy in there. Because I went there November or so of last year. The sewer was backed up, and I'd crawled under there looking for, looking at the piping. And whenever I crawled back up, I noticed that if I remember right, if my mind suits me right, I noticed that the access point wasn't covered up good.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, while I'm here, I might as well just
Seal it up.
make sure. And I sealed her up good. I don't know if that was his main entry and out, but so that's a reminder, not only for there, but all other rentals or anybody that has crawl spaces like that, access to where animals can get in. You need to be sure that they're blocked off.
Yeah.
Or you're going to deal with that situation.
Right. Speaking of Mike Rowe, so Victoria and I did our 100K step challenge yesterday, which I'm sure there's going to be some people tuning in who were following along on our Insta story. But one thing I said was the reason we did it, I'll just start with that. The reason we did it was to raise awareness for physical mental health of blue collar people. You look at a lot of people in the industry, they are unhealthy and they've got a lot of shit going on in their head. It's a stressful job, right? And they're not physically in shape. They're not eating right, stuff like that. So we just kind of did this long 100,000 steps to raise awareness for that, post on our Instagram story, just try to get people moving, involved, stuff like that. Get out and play kind of thing, But Mike Rowe posted a picture of him rucking yesterday, and you cannot convince me otherwise that we are not the reason he did that.
Did he, what was it called, give you a shout out?
He did not tag us or give us a shout out. I'm just saying you cannot convince me otherwise that we're not the reason that he did that.
Yeah, and he had some deal, which it depends on who's doing the study. But in it, he was talking about GoRuck, the vest that you can add weight to that he wore.
Yeah.
He said in studies have shown that rucking can burn more calories than regular walking itself and some running also. Which I guess it depends on how much weight you add, then elevation and all that goody.
I was going to say, workload. A lot of variables.
But still, it's doing something hard, right?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be harder than regular walking. And, we did like a minor ruck. We had weighted packs on, not weighted, but like we had packs on with stuff in them. Not heavy, but a few pounds. But, dude, 100,000 steps, we started doing that because Victoria sent me a TikTok a week before and said, it was just like this girl who did it. And I mean, she
made it look so easy and cute.
Well, yeah, it looks cute whenever it's a 30-second video and it's like, oh yeah, we went after it. Oh yeah, look at this pretty trail I was on. Oh yeah, I ate an ice cream cone in the middle of it. But dude, props to anybody who can do that, because that was hard. It was a very hard challenge. But I think we accomplished our goal of just trying to raise awareness, because there were a lot of people who messaged me or tagged us in a story or something like that said, all right, I wasn't going to work out today. Man, I didn't want to do this, but we're out here now. And it's because we saw you doing this shit. So I was happy to see that.
So how many hours total did it take?
So we got up at 4:30 a.m. We kind of got ready, whatever. Ding. We kind of did the first part weird. So our mentality was, okay, we just need to get out of bed and start, basically. Not even eat or anything before we start, just go. So we walked a lap around our neighborhood, which is right at about a mile. Then we ran a lap, and then we walked a lap just to
warm up,
get things going. Then we kind of took a break and stretched and stuff like that. And then we ate breakfast. We didn't want to eat breakfast first because we didn't want to dilly-dally. We knew that like once we started, then it was going to be, okay, all breaks on are quick, easy.
Yeah. It was good to do like warm up, and then we stretched. But I think those first 3 miles were, I don't know, they were like a unicorn, because it made it seem so easy. And I was like, oh, James, it's going to be easy peasy. Look at us. We're so athletic. It's going to be great. Wrong.
Yeah, well, that was one thing that we discussed even in the middle of it was we did 3 laps around our neighborhood, 3 miles. And I was like, all it is 50 laps around the neighborhood. Like that.
That sounds so easy.
Yeah,
just 50 laps around the neighborhood. That's all we got to do.
Hey, put that microphone.
Sorry, you keep saying I'm breathing too loud.
No, you're not. I was kidding.
Oh. Yeah, I was like 50 laps around the neighborhood. That sounds so easy. Like,
Try not to breathe, Victoria.
Yeah, just don't breathe.
50 laps around the neighborhood.
Yeah, it sounded so easy. So we did that, and then we ate, but we didn't want to eat first because I was like, if we sit down and try to like cook breakfast or do this, we're just going to screw off at the house a while. So we got started, went out, and then we came back, ate real quick.
Was the sun up yet when you started?
No.
Okay.
No.
Some guy thought we had a headlamp on.
No, that was just my
It was
Pit
just
Vipers.
aimed. Yeah.
I was wearing Pit Vipers the whole time. Which, dude, by the way, I've always been a Pit Viper hater. I have always thought, man, who would buy those? They look so stupid. Well, then I kept seeing more and more people in the industry buying them. And then whenever I filmed some stuff with the Association of General Contractors a couple months ago, I said, oh, dude, I need a pair of Pit Vipers for this video. And so they bought a pair for me to wear. I didn't get to keep them, unfortunately, but I wore them and I was like, these are actually really comfortable. And so I bought a pair to do this challenge. And I'm going to tell you, I bought them just as like a attention grabber, gag, whatever. That is the most comfortable pair of sunglasses I have ever worn. I mean, I wore them all day and they stayed on my face. I didn't have to keep screwing with them. They didn't fog up. They didn't bounce around. Great pair of sunglasses.
Casey, for reference, they're also ANSI Z87 rated, so we can wear them out in the field.
There you go.
Be stylish.
So polarized, you're looking stylish,
Yeah.
you're safe, you got the side shields,
Yeah, you're looking like
and you're the coolest
you're
guy
looking
out
like
there.
Rip Rap. You ever seen that guy?
Oh my
Riff
gosh.
Raff? I said
I
Rip
haven't
Rap.
heard Riff Raff's name in so long.
Riff Raff's hilarious. I saw him and Theo Vaughn. They've done a couple podcasts together, but they wore glasses just like that. Just the motorcycle looking 80s
Straight, yeah.
specials. Yeah,
I love
awesome.
that.
Yeah. So we did that, but then we got going, and so then we just kept walking. We walked down a bunch of dirt roads, and that was fun.
The beginning was super, almost like a movie in the fact that we had all these back roads. There were no cars around us. The views were beautiful. Like, you and I were having the time of our lives. Like, look at us being all cute. For the first, 10, 12 miles.
I didn't struggle until really after probably the 60% point is whenever I started kind of going down, but not going down, but just not having as much fun. But yeah, the first while was a lot of fun because it was back roads. The sun was coming up. There was, beautiful farm fields.
The weather was so nice.
Yeah. Before the sun really came out, the weather was just amazing. It had kind of rained that morning before we started. And so it was nice and cool. The sun was down. It was awesome. And then we get out to some walking trails. At this point, we'd walk probably 8 or 9, 10 miles. And then
we were killing it in the beginning. I was like, James, look at us. We are so athletic.
We really killed it all day, I thought. I mean, we really kept pace really well. And then we had our friend Lena join up with us, and she walked 3-4 miles with us. And that was pretty nice having somebody else. That was still in the beginning. We were still having fun. We were passing by the golf course, trying to chip shot into the green.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
We kept finding golf balls and tried to throw them into the hole. Between other golfers. And so obviously did not
hole
make
2,
it.
3, and 4 at Wentz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
And
2,
so
2 and 4.
I'm sure
Yeah.
some golfers were golfing and were like, Jim, is that your ball? No.
Yeah.
Whose ball? No, that's my ball right there.
Yeah.
That one right
Oh, you
by the
never
pin.
hit
Yeah,
that
was
well.
mine. That was mine. What? That guy's ball is off in the woods somewhere, and he goes,
pulled
that
that
was mine.
I thought you said you were hitting Titleist. No, it was Callaway, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'd have done it. I've done
It
it
was
before.
it was fun.
I have a lot of integrity, but not when I play golf.
The old foot wedge and mulligans.
Oh, yeah. But at that point, we're still having a lot of fun. We keep going, and it was nice having a friend there. We were like, man, we just have so much energy, and we kept going, and then we walked back to the house, and at this point, it'd been several hours we'd been out, so
Yeah.
we went and ate lunch, and at that point, it was getting hot. I mean, the sun was really starting to come out, and I told Victoria, I was like, I think we just need to take a 20-minute break, eat lunch. We prepped all our food the night before, so I was like, let's take a 20-minute break, eat lunch, change socks, and get going. At this point, we're right around halfway, I think.
Yeah, I had hit halfway at lunch.
Yeah, so we hit about halfway. So we go to take our 20-minute break, and we get done with that, and we both took our shoes off, changed socks, ate a little bit, and then got going again. And I was like, man, I said, I know that was probably closer to 30 minutes, but boy, we needed that. And Victoria goes, James, we were inside for an hour. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, let me tell you, PB&J has never tasted better than yesterday. It was glorious.
Yeah. So then we did a couple laps without our backpacks just around our neighborhood again. But see, the bad part about that, Victoria was starting to get some hip pain pretty bad. And walking in the neighborhood was kind of giving her an ankle pain. And that was giving her that thought of, there's the house, I could just quit right now. So that was where immediately I said, all right, we need to get as far away from the house as possible because this
From
is just
safety, yeah. That's a
'cause
good loving husband
and
right
it
there.
still really hurts. I can't go past here. I can't come this way, and coming down, I can only go that far. No clue what happened there, but and I didn't even realize it, but us being so close to home just made me want to go right to bed and just be like, sorry, James, you're going to have to do this on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was my wife, I would have kept close to the house, or I would have comforted, made sure she was comfortable.
Dude, see, that's where the mental game comes in.
Oh, here we go. It's a learning lesson.
It is a learning lesson. I mean, that's where the mental game comes in because you're passing the house. And I mean, obviously, we weren't going to stay in the
Yeah, I
neighborhood
could see
too
the
long.
house every 10 minutes, and I was like,
But I said, okay, so we got in the truck. We're going to walk this far, but I said, well, the safest way, we need to backtrack, go over some stuff we already walked out. Victoria goes, I don't want to backtrack at all. I
did
don't
not want to do multiple passes of the same scenery.
Yeah.
Because I said that was going to kill me.
Yeah,
That was going to kill my motivation, and we needed change of pace, change of scenery. And James goes, let's walk down Lake Road
No,
to
you
14th.
said let's walk down
No,
Lake Road. I
no,
said that is
you're
not
like, that's
safe.
our only other option. I said, sir, we're going to die. We're going to get
She
run
was
over.
the one who was wanting to do it. What are you talking about?
There were so many. I was like, well, I didn't know you were going to be okay with the fact that we could drive.
Yeah, so I was like, well, let's just drive down Lake Road and park the car.
No,
'cause
I said that. And you're like, yeah, that's a good idea.
I think that heat's getting to you.
Sir, don't you gaslight me.
So Well, yeah, so we parked the car at my parents' house, which was good, just to get across town because that road's not safe to walk down. No. But I just wanted to get you away from the house, like out of the neighborhood, because obviously, if she's gonna go down, she's gonna say, "Okay, I'm done." Like I can't. But if you're in the neighborhood and you see basically you're looking at the finish line, but you're not even close to the finish.
But you went to another safe space at your parents' house.
Kind of.
Yeah, but for some reason that didn't make me want to quit.
Yeah, because she's not just gonna like walk inside there and like crawl up and go to bed.
I mean, I could.
But we got there, and then our friend Flint was like, "Hey, get me on the schedule for after lunch." So we walked to his house, which was, I don't know, a mile or two from my parents. And then he walked 5 miles with us. And dude, that was the fastest 5 miles we had. It was so fun. It was just easy. I mean, it felt like 20 minutes he was with us.
We got done and he was like, all right, 5 miles. And it was, one of those things where you're just talking, having so much fun that you completely forget where you're at. You lose track of time. That was the best thing that could have happened for us.
You're in the zone.
Yeah, it was fun. So we got done there, and after his house, we were at like 60%.
Yeah, I think I was at 65%.
So we took a quick little water break at his house and pee break and
blessed for their water and their AC.
Yeah, our strategy was like we didn't sit down in his house. We didn't take our packs off. We just basically went in there. They said, "Here's some more water." Filled our stuff up and left. But that was the whole mentality, because like watching the TikToks, I think where a lot of the people make mistakes is you'd watch these girls, because mainly girls who try to do this challenge because it looks so fun and cute, and like Victoria said, but it's what kills them is the 2-hour, 3-hour breaks they try to take with a nap in the middle of it, and then they get up and they're just so sore and they're like, "Oh, I can't move. I don't want to keep going." So our rule was it's either less than 5 minutes or more than 20 minutes. Now we had that 1 hour break, but we stayed fairly active during that. Like we were moving around the house a little bit, just like doing some stuff and then addressing what needed to be addressed. But it was after Flint left that we really,
it went downhill.
We were good for probably 45 minutes after that. Like we were still just kind of had the adrenaline pumping from that. Well, then we get going and we're walking downtown, and that's whenever Victoria just like goes down. Like she's just, James, like screaming, blood curdling pain. I heard her shoe hit the sidewalk, and I thought that it was something popping, and I just thought, fuck. I knew from that moment, I said, we're going to have to limp her back home or call someone to come get us, and I'm going to do this on my own. Because I thought it was her ankle that popped, but it was just where her shoe hit the ground, but it was a blister that popped, actually.
James was like, "You didn't know I had these blisters?" I was like, "No."
Yeah, she had these 3 ginormous blisters.
They're still here in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, and she did not feel them coming at all.
I had no hot spots at all.
It just, all of a sudden she felt it. So we had to do a little bit of roadside bandaging and then walk back. Thankfully, we were only like...
Thankfully, we called AAA.
got the flat tire fixed.
The flat tire fixed.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they could fix my spare tire. My love handle's my fat.
Oh,
I was so confused. I was like, spare tire. Like, do you have a...
Damn. When y'all put on some weight, then you'll get some of my humor.
I thought you were making a different kind of joke.
I did too. I thought it was a dick joke.
The third leg.
No.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
She went there.
I'm sorry.
I was thinking it too. We were all thinking it. What was good,
Casey
though,
over here, Mr. Wholesome, and we're just in the gutter.
When that happened, that blister though, thankfully we were only like a mile from my parents, so we limped you back home.
Yeah, once we put the Band-Aid on and like got all the juices out. I don't know how else to describe it. Once you start walking, it's fine. But then we went back to his parents' house, and James was like, "We just gotta pop all of them." Put some moleskin on, and then a new pair of socks, and then double sock it. And it ended up being good after that.
Yeah, we got her. That was like a 5-10 minute stop, and then we did another couple miles with just left our packs there just to make sure she was good to go because I didn't want to put our packs back on, get way far away, and then her be like, I just can't do this. I wanted to. So we left our stuff there, walked probably 2 miles.
Yeah, another for like 5,000 steps. It was good.
Yeah, in the neighborhood, and then came back and grabbed our stuff and went on down the road.
We went and decided to treat ourselves to Subway, which, oh my gosh, that was glorious. Except for that is quite possibly the busiest Subway I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah,
it's also kind of gross.
Well, it was in the hood, so
it's the one on Grand.
Yeah, it's kind of near the hood. So we walk there. We put an online order in. Well, they have this deal that says your online order will be here when it's ready, and we were sitting there waiting and watching it. And we were like, come on, where's this at? So finally, there's just a line that just doesn't stop. So I finally just get in the line and then tell them, yo, where's our online order? They're like, oh, it's right here. And they pull it out from under the counter. Well, we sat there for like 30 minutes. We were there 30 minutes total. So we sat there for 15, 20 minutes. And finally I said, yo, where's our food? Because I was ready to just get going. Because at this point, we're at 75, 80%.
I was at 83%.
Yeah. So it was kind of one of those things of we've just got to finish at this point. So I was getting antsy. Now, I think at this point we need a little bit of a long break. This was our second long break. Everything else had just been short little things. So 20, 30 minutes, we were there, and I think we needed it. I didn't want to be there that long, but I think it actually propelled us. I ate that Philly cheesesteak Subway sandwich like it was nobody's business. And
I had a turkey sandwich with all the veggies.
That sounds better when you're a little hot out.
I was so hot. I was like, I need something cold, and I wanted every single vegetable on there ever. No cheese.
Well, what was funny is Victoria ordered a foot long and then only ate half of it.
So then I had to carry it for the rest of the way with me. That was the part that sucked.
There was no room in the bags or anything because they were, not
I just got my little doggy bag with me.
Yeah, she just had a little doggy bag. Well, it was funny, Casey. You'll get a kick out of this. We'll at one point we called my friend Alan, and he goes, "Dang, you guys are walking 100,000 steps." And he goes, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, it's around 50 miles." And he's like, "Holy shit, man!" And he said, "You know who does that every day is Clifford. So really, you're not really that special."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Clifford's the homeless guy around here.
Yeah, he's one of our staples that you could pretty much guarantee. He's walking around picking up snipes and smoking them.
Yeah. So he said, Clifford does that every day, man. You ain't nothing special. And he said, what you need is a 5-pound Walmart sack in one hand, hunched over and smoking a cigarette in the other hand, and then do it and tell me you're hard.
Yeah, Clifford ought to make his own David Goggins like inspirational deal.
Yeah, you just pick up cigarette butts and smoke them.
His training.
Chain smoke cigarette butts from other people while you carry a Walmart bag. And
I don't know if I've ever met Clifford.
I don't think nobody's ever really met him.
Oh. Is that his name?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's his name on the streets.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen him then. Is he the one you guys always... No, that's...
I don't think he's out as much now, but
I haven't seen him in a while.
What's the guy you always hide from?
Harold. Yeah. Clifford's the town homeless guy. Harold's the town bum.
Yeah, I don't know if he's homeless. I'm surely he has someplace that he goes home to, but he's notorious for prancing around.
There's a lot of rumors about that guy, but we won't go into them.
Yeah, you'll be like at a drive-through, or in the past, I'd be at a drive-through waiting to get my food, and next thing you know, you'd see something in your mirror kind of stroll up next to you, and he'd be walking through picking up, snipes, like little cigarettes that are thrown out or change that was right there by the drive-through window, and oh shit.
Oh, hello.
And he don't care. I've thrown a few pennies out before for him to pick up.
Oh, that's nice.
I think there's a Family Guy bit about that, about where they throw money on the ground, a bunch of homeless people. No, it wasn't homeless people, it was Jews. They start running out there like birds.
We used to have another guy back in the day. His name was Tommy. We call him Tommy Walker. But he was a bigger dude, but he'd do the same thing. This is back in the 90s. I don't think Tommy's with us anymore. But on a good note, still keep going with your story.
Yeah. Dude, after Subway, though, that was like, we were locked in of, we just need to get done.
Yeah.
We walk out, and it's dark at this point, because we left Subway at like 9 p.m. or something, so close to that. And to put it in perspective, at the beginning of the day, we thought, oh, we'll be done by
like 6.
9, 10 p.m. Yeah. Well, I told Victoria the night before, she goes, how long do you think this is going to take? I said, oh, probably 16 or so hours. She goes, what? 16 hours? I said,
that's if we don't stop.
Yeah. And so we calced it up. If we averaged 3 miles an hour, which we did while we were walking about that pace.
Yeah.
But if we average that and don't stop, it'll take us 16 hours. And so I said, oh, it's going to take longer than that, which it did.
It ended up taking us 16 hours. Legit. We started at 5 a.m. We got done at 11:30.
Yeah.
So we were right.
Yeah. So we were going, but after Subway, we were like shitting and getting. I mean, it was like, okay, that's also whenever we realized Victoria was a couple thousand steps ahead of me.
I was like 7,000 steps ahead of him.
Yeah. So I had to start, which I think there was an error in our watches or something. So
there was not.
We started, I had to like zigzag the whole way to catch back up.
Does your watch tell you how long your step is?
No.
Mine is 24 inches. So obviously you take a much larger step than 2 feet.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
yeah, but
it makes sense that I had way more steps than him.
Yeah, but like they were pretty neck and neck for a while, and then like we left Subway and we're like, dang, we're way off. So I had to start zigzagging on the sidewalk. Dude, that sucked. That was like killing my joints. But I was just trying to catch up because I saw that and I'd go, dude, 7,000 steps. That's a lot to do by myself. So I was zigzagging it. I was just focused on doing that. We were going on, like, we were trying to find wide sidewalks or roadways that I could like really just get a wide zigzag on. That's what I did. It was tough, and finally was able to kind of catch back up, and we go down to the end of Grand, basically.
Went to the Recplex.
Yeah, to the ball fields and walked around those. Dude, by the way, there was like I don't know if it was like a Mexican family reunion or what. I know those people go hard.
There was a huge baseball game, and the food smelled delicious.
Yeah, there was like
they had a whole announcer and everything, and it was very entertaining.
Yeah, there was an announcer in Spanish, and they were playing baseball.
There's fireworks in the background. I was kind of like digging this vibe.
Yeah, there was probably 200 people.
Legit.
Just at the ball fields, like a bunch of kids, a bunch of people. They were just like playing this baseball game with an announcer, a grill. They were announcing in Spanish, and I was like, dude, this looks fun.
Yeah.
So that kind of was fun to watch while we walked around the ball fields. But after those, that's whenever it got real intense, because it was, okay, we have 3 miles back to my parents' house, and then from there, if we walk around their neighborhood once, we're done. That was, I mean, this was just grueling at this point. It was brutal. We were both hurting. We didn't give our pain any sort of voice. Well, Victoria did, but
yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I did.
I told Victoria a lot. I said, don't vocalize your pain. And
damn, that was like harmony.
Don't vocalize your pain.
You need to
I was like, James, shut up.
You need to like, what do you call that, snippet or isolate that little don't vocalize your pain. You two doing that just then, that was
just
perfect.
Start making a video.
But mine didn't sound snarky when I said it.
No, but it was perfect.
Oh.
Well, I'm saying you need to.
I was trying to put some snark
But then you
in
could
it.
always make that be one of your buttons, you know.
Yeah.
Don't vocalize your pain.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Well, he kept saying that, and I was like, James.
Because there was a couple times that I did too on a couple little things. I was like, oh man, this is really starting to bother me. Or, oh man, I'm really starting to get hot. Because once you say it, you really start focusing on it, and you really start, and then it gets worse and worse. And I mean, but I'll say Victoria, she definitely vocalized certain things like her hips. And
My hips weren't lying, man. It was painful.
Yeah, but she pushed through, and she stretched them out a couple times. We had to stop for her to sit down for. I mean, it was crazy how much 30 seconds of sitting would do for Victoria.
You'd be surprised how wonderful sitting is until you just need to sit, and then you get up and you're like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, it was like 30 seconds. There was times where, like, there was one point where this was kind of early on. Whenever we got to the walking trails with Elena, I was screwing around on this construction project that was over there. It was they're building a driving range, so I was screwing around on just kind of playing there in the dirt, and I got a little bit behind, And I catch back up and she's sitting and it was like, I said, oh, do you want to take like a 5-minute break? And she stands up. She goes, nope, let's keep going. It was like 15 seconds. I was like, okay.
It made a difference. I felt a lot better.
Was that over by the bike trails?
Yeah. It was the bike trails. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was good. But man, yeah. And then after that, after we got back to my parents' house, we just ditched our packs and walked that last like 2 miles without them just to get it done. And God, I mean, it was brutal. That last couple miles, like after we hit, because whenever you see 95%, you
like
think
5,000 steps. That's it.
5% left. Like, but then you think 1% of this goal is 10% of my daily step goal. I mean, just to put it in perspective, today I have 526 steps this morning.
Yeah, I'm at 756.
So,
and that feels glorious.
yeah. My watch is telling me to move right now, and I'm just kind of telling it to piss off. But yeah, man. So we got it done around 11:30 p.m. and it was good to get it done.
That's just a long day in general, whether you're walking or not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say that was harder than running a marathon.
Oh.
I think ability to do it is easier. Like, I think that, like, we didn't train for this.
No, you're just walking.
We just went out and did it. It's one step, one foot in front of the other. Our heart rates really didn't get that high. Like, in a marathon, obviously, your heart rate's going to be higher. But the marathon's over in 4 hours. So, you're done. It's easy. Or not easy, but you're done. Day's over. You still have half a day left to enjoy your whatever day it is, Saturday, Sunday. Great. But the mental challenge is so much harder because you're sitting here going, dude, okay. Because for one, the marathon was half as many steps. So it's half the distance to run a marathon. This is twice the distance. And the heat's just beating down on you. And it's just tough. Your joints are hurting still. You're sore. Especially if you take a little bit of a break, you just keep going. Like, this was harder than running a marathon. I think more people could do it physically. Like, I know plenty of people that they don't train for endurance stuff at all. Like, Casey, you could, obviously you're not going and training for marathons, but you could have probably done this challenge, or at least most of it, I think. But it's the mental battle that gets you.
yeah, there's no doubt I could have done it. But
Yeah,
still,
you
that's
definitely could have.
But I mean, even towards the end physically, it was just putting that step in front of the other. Like, after I ran my marathon, I thought, I could probably go a little bit longer. After we finished with this, I thought, dude, thank God, because I was not going to last much longer.
Well, I think plus starting when it's dark out, then ending when it's dark out, there's something that does that to your mind. Even out at work when I'm working night shift, I'm not a night owl by any means, but working at night, it just, as soon as that sun goes down, from when I get into work when the sun's up and then it goes down, it does something.
Right? Yeah.
Circadian rhythm.
We're not nocturnal. Is that the right word?
Yeah. Circadian rhythms.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. That was the first time I ever noticed it, where we were good. The sun went down. James and I stopped talking.
Yeah, it was quiet.
It was just like head down.
There was
silence.
one point I was posting videos on the story, and I told Victoria, I said, I'm influencing to pass the time.
It also made such a big difference to either talk to people on the phone or have people walk with us or just have something to do other than focus on walking.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, James and I decided to try and figure out which songs we could sing word for word so that we could survive if somebody put a gun to our head.
Yeah, this is a question I'd like to ask you, Casey. If you had somebody has a gun to your head, you have to sing a song word for word. If you
Yes, I'd kill my dog. Is that what? For how much money?
what?
Oh.
That was a reference to a couple episodes ago. Somebody had a gun to your head and you had to sing a song word for word, and if you mess up, you die. What is the song that you're gonna sing?
I have no clue, man.
You have no clue?
Well,
You don't have a go-to, like,
I
Tequila.
they're the ultimate. Here's the deal.
Tequila.
But you could really break it down to where if they're the ultimate judge on you can't mess up, do you want to do a song that's long that you only have to do X amount of times, or do you want it like a row your boat that you probably can't mess up, but there will be a time after so many times you do it that probably slur your words and get shot. So I would go with probably a basic one that I
like an actual song, not a nursery rhyme.
See, now we got stipulations.
Well, you thought way too deep into it. I had to set a stipulation.
Dude, your life is on the line. I mean,
So for reference, I put "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen, and then I sang it, and I was 100% right.
see, I don't know
I
any-
shot James because he said one word wrong.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
Well, but I didn't say that was my song. Actually, if it really came down to it, I think it'd be Wagon Wheel for me. I could do Wagon Wheel.
Yeah. Probably Every Rose Has Its Thorn. That's one of them.
Yeah.
Just
that's good.
because that was I think the obvious first song I ever learned on guitar. Real basic, simple strumming. So
I said "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen, "Bohemian Rhapsody" by Queen, and "Eye of the Tiger."
Yeah. You also said Mr. Brightside.
Mr.
and
Brightside,
you got
and
shot.
then we got it wrong.
You
Mr.
got shot.
Brownstone?
Mr. Brightside by The Killers.
Your daddy works in porno.
Now
His
that
mama's
mommy's
not
not
around.
What?
She used to
That's
love her heroin, but now she's underground.
That's Mr. Brownstone. Guns N'
Never
Roses.
heard that song.
Sorry, let me get a little more axly. Your daddy works in porno. Rip headphone users. But anyways, yeah. So
So the little things like that definitely helped.
yeah, that helped a lot because again, it was a mental battle, and I can't imagine doing that one by myself. But also another one that made it harder than the marathon was the fact that exactly what you were saying, like the sun goes down, circadian, you're getting tired. Whenever I ran a marathon, like you just go and you run and you do it. You don't get like, yeah, you're getting sore, but you're not physically tired. Like after the sun went, like I usually go to bed at 9:30 p.m., 10 at the latest. Whenever it's 10:30, you want to be in bed, and you still have an hour left. You're exhausted. Your body's sore. Your body starts telling you, "Hey, man, we need to sleep. I'm tired," and your mind starts playing with you because you're getting kind of delirious. That's where I'm covered in sunburn, so my skin's hot. It's still just humid as a mug outside, and that's where you're sitting there going, dude, we have come a long ways, and I would have no shame in saying, yep, we got 90%. But
Ring the bell.
yeah, that's where you just got to keep pushing. That was the hardest part right there, was that last 10%. Because 10% is still a lot of freaking steps.
Yeah, it's like 5 miles ish.
Yeah, your mind can do. When you get into your mind and you really start thinking about, all that, it can play tricks on you. That I always do references of stuff that I can tie into that, but that reminded me of, what'd you say? Don't say the pain out loud, or what was it?
Don't give your pain a voice.
Oh.
Yeah, don't give your pain a voice, because you were thinking, oh, I'm hurting her. Oh God, if you can get your mind on something else with anything, it'll help you. And there's a movie called The Edge. Have you ever seen it? Great movie. It's got Anthony Hopkins.
Ooh, I love Anthony
It's got
Hopkins.
Alec Baldwin before he turned super duper external lefty voice, and there you go. Bam! Got that political deal in there. Elle McPherson, by the way, that's a good one for you to tune into, with Elle McPherson in there. She's a supermodel. She was real famous in the 90s.
Okay, Casey.
Any nude scenes?
James.
Pretty close. But
What part of the movie?
But beginning, she's only really then she comes in at the
So I
end.
don't have to watch the whole thing.
But the main part of the movie is they're in a plane. They're going to go sightseeing up in the mountains, and the plane crashes into the water, and they all fortunately escape out. Alec Baldwin, Anthony Hopkins, and a couple other one other dude. Well, while they're on land trying to figure out how they're going to survive, keep in mind, Anthony Hopkins is the well-read guy. He's read books on how to survive. Baldwin's kind of like, I just wing it. Well, during this time, the other guy that they're with ends up pretty much breaking his ankle, hurting real bad. He's in super duper duper bad pain. And this is where I'm tying this in with how your mind, get your mind off of, you know, that. When he's in bad pain, complaining about being in such bad pain, Anthony Hopkins looks at him and he says something like, all right, look at me. He goes, what I need you to do, this is in his English accent or whatever, the British. He said, ding. Yeah. He goes, all right, this is the dude that's complaining. Hopkins looks at him and he goes, all right, hey, look at me. He goes, what I need you to do is there's a certain round rock. You'll know it when you find it. This place has them. I need you to go find this round rock. And while he's saying this, the guy's like, oh, I'm hurting. He goes, no, focus. Go look for this round rock. It'll help us start this fire or something like that. He goes, it'll help. So if you go, dude, we really need you to find this rock. He goes, okay. He goes, if not, we will not have fire. So the guy goes, okay. And he walks off in pain looking for this round rock, okay? And Baldwin looks at Anthony Hopkins and he goes, dude, what in the heck does this round rock have to do with starting a fire? And Anthony Hopkins says, it has nothing to help with starting the fire. What I'm doing is I'm getting his mind off the pain, and I've got a task for him to do. He's not thinking about pain anymore. He's just worried about finding that rock. He'll forget about pain for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good.
Yeah. So, and sometimes when I'm in certain situations, and I was that way the other day working on this one, it was with the raccoon. Well, I cut into a water line, and this was at the end of the day. It was a 15, 20-minute job that should have only taken that, and it turned into a 3-hour job that turned into the next day, which it's done now. But
funny how water lines do that.
I was in the middle of this deal, and consciously, right once I realized, shit, my whole world was like, crap, dude, what? Dude, it was for my life, it was the worst time right then and there at the real time. It was the worst. God, dude, what? But then I told myself, dude, Casey, you've been through this before. And granted, I'm not fighting in a war, but I was telling myself, you've been through this before. You'll get through this. Everything will be better tomorrow in time. Let's just keep plowing away. And sure enough, I got through it. Right. Mm-hmm. But it's good when you can identify that you're in certain situations and then hopefully use little techniques to address.
Yeah.
That always helps me of like, man, think about it, this workout or whatever difficult thing I don't want to do. Thanks. It's only an hour. Think 45 minutes from now you'll be done. That's all you gotta tell yourself. And it makes a big difference.
This too shall pass kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of that one deal I told you. I don't know if I ever showed it to you, but it was when Jocko Willink was talking to all of them soldiers, giving them a short little motivational deal. And he said, all right, he goes, I want you all to name, what do you think is a tough day? And one guy goes, a tough day is not being able to, he goes, all right. And he goes, what about you? A tough day is having to ruck this. And he goes, all right, that's a good one too. And he said, well, he goes, I'll give you a couple other examples of tough days. What about the guys that, stormed the beaches of Normandy that they knew they were running into gunfire? You think, how's that compared to your tough day?
Yeah.
He goes, what about if you're in a firefight? And so he gave these examples that were way, way, way tougher than compared to what these guys were. But he pretty much wrapped it up with saying, when you're in a tough situation or going through adversity, although it sucks, whatever you're in, I didn't say or whatever. I said whatever you're in. Whatever you're in, keep battling through it. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, this sucks. We're gonna get through it. And you know what? After you've went through this suckiness, at the end of the day, once you persevered, whatever that is, then you can sit back and have a beer and joke about. You can look back on. You know what? That was pretty. Yeah, it sucked at the time, but now you have a cool story to tell.
Exactly.
Or like, I did it.
And it's the truth. So any shitty or sucky situation that you're in, even when you make a mistake, a bad mistake, now you got a story to tell years down the road. Well,
and something I want to tie into what you're saying too. This is perfect for the next thing I really wanted to talk about. So the mental health aspect, like I said, we did this walk just to raise awareness for mental, physical health of blue collar people.
Before you go into a really profound kind of saying, so I have something that's not profound.
Okay.
So I want to give everyone Victoria's lessons learned
Okay.
after the 100,000 steps. Number 1, maple syrup can mold.
We did learn that, which it has sugar in it, so yes.
I pre-made protein pancakes, which, by the way, the Millville pancakes from Aldi, the Kodiak kind of off-brand, absolutely phenomenal, scrumptious pancakes.
They were very good.
Don't follow the instructions if you ever decide to buy these, by the way. Instead of just adding milk to the mix or water, don't do water, add in milk and then 1 egg. So you get a bunch more protein and it just is fluffier and tastes better. So I pre-made a bunch of pancakes Friday night so we could have
That's worth a 5-star review right there.
Oh, it was so good. Those pancakes were delicious.
I've got another cooking secret too when you're done.
Oh, yes. So made the pancakes. I was so excited after our first 3 miles. I was like, pancakes, butter, maple syrup. I haven't had that in so long. We're getting a good source of protein and lots of good carbs. I put the maple syrup on my pancakes. And then I was like, these pancakes like kind of smell funky. I'm like smelling the maple syrup bottle and I was like, this smells rancid. And then I look, there's mold on the inside the maple syrup bottle. And I was like, I didn't even know that. And I tasted it, by the way. Don't taste it. It was absolutely disgusting. So
I don't know why you would taste it.
I don't know, because I was like, is it still good?
That's kind of like,
Okay, so maple syrup molds.
Maple syrup molds. Discoasting, by the way. So I had to throw away a perfectly good pancake and then I just put honey on top and it just wasn't the same.
2 episodes in a row we've talked about maple syrup.
Gosh.
Official maple syrup podcast of the United States.
yeah, I didn't know maple syrup.
Yeah, so
molded.
just a heads up. I don't know how old that maple syrup was, but
Probably 2 to 3 years old.
you would think.
That
It was,
doesn't even have a shelf life.
yeah, it was really disappointing.
I don't know. Anything with sugar in it's probably going to be able
Well,
to
honey never expires.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why.
We're saying,
Good point.
were you calling James honey, saying he never expires?
Oh, I
Or-
expire. The
I'm
stomach
talking about-
issues I had yesterday, I was expired.
That is another Victoria's lessons learned. It doesn't matter what you eat during endurance challenges, it will shred your stomach.
Yeah.
Shred.
So you got like mega abs now?
No, I'm talking, I've never been more bloated and
Oh, you're
gigantic
not
in my
shredded.
life.
Okay.
Yeah.
It like tears your stomach
The
in
inside
half.
of your stomach is just ripped
Oh.
up. I mean, that happens. I mean, running,
Like-
even sometimes short runs, dude. I mean,
I ballooned.
yeah.
It hurt. And it didn't matter. We ate lots of fruit. We had granola. We had nuts. Like, we weren't eating anything mega processed.
These nuts.
Okay, shut up. But I guess just the inflammation in your body, and your body is so fixated on your muscles and everything else that your stomach just goes to the wayside. And so lots of tummy issues. Also, never walk behind James in
My stomach
a
was
challenge
tore
like
up.
this with some of the most rank farts.
Dropping bombs. Huh?
It was
Bombs, dude.
disgusting. At least once every 5 minutes, all silent. But I would just smell it and be like,
No, they were not.
Jeez, James, jeez.
James was doing that low earth geoengineering. He was doing chemtrails, but at a
I'm pretty
ground
sure-
level.
Well, and here's one of James's lesson learned, and I've learned this before because just from running and training and all that. Never trust a fart.
Yeah. I didn't have that issue.
I got
but
stories on those,
some of
too.
those for James.
I got stories on
I was
that,
a little
man.
concerned for
Especially
James
running.
on some of those. But it was like I was, for 100,000 steps, being crop dusted.
Fertilized.
I was so gross.
What's your next lesson learned?
That might be it. Other than
So maple syrup molds, your stomach will get shredded on long endurance challenges, and don't walk behind me on an endurance challenge.
don't walk behind anyone.
Anyone.
Walk side by side.
I was gonna
There you
say you had some rippers too, so I had more, but
I had some good one-liners too all day.
yeah, I kept recording all this stuff, and every time the camera's on, nothing from Victoria, but anytime it was off, I mean,
What were you saying? You were like, "Oh, I would love to be in something right now," and I said, "Oh man, I'd love to be in a casket right now."
I don't.
It doesn't sound as funny now, but at the time it was funny.
Yeah, there's some word that it's whenever someone knows it that have a camera on them or a microphone in their face, then you're not going to be your genuine self because there's that little hint of non-normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We run into that with everybody who comes on the podcast.
Yeah. And to add to your little food secret
yes,
deal,
yes,
you want to hear this? Mm-hmm. I've been fascinated with this, and y'all might not like it because y'all are living the OG healthy lifestyle. But for us fat bastards like me,
We can be fat bastards at times.
well, check this out. Do you like mayonnaise?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, at least you admitted it. There's
She's
some
European,
people,
dude. Yeah, that's
There's
like a
some-
Freaking
staple.
love mayonnaise.
There's some people that
Victoria
you know.
eats mayonnaise out the jar.
All right. Well, the trick is you have to have. Don't do that Miracle Whip sweet crap. Do the real mayonnaise.
The real
right?
deal.
See,
Yeah.
I
The real
love
deal.
both.
Okay. Yes, but the real deal, especially the older I've gotten, the real deal is the way to go. So
In my wisdom of these
a lot of
years.
times I cook up a lot of meat. I'll cook up a lot of meat, and then I'll have a ton of left. I can make a ton of meals for days. You know, whether
Days.
it's sausage, steak, chicken, hot dogs, all that crap. You make a bunch of different meals, but a lot of times what I'll do is I'll either take corn tortillas and kind of fry those up into a taco and throw vegetables with the meat and cheese in there, or I'll do flour tortillas. Right. So with that being said, have you heard the old trick of making grilled cheese sandwiches? And when you make those,
Yeah,
you
with
take
the mayonnaise on the outside,
instead of
baby.
taking butter.
Oh,
You do
yeah.
the okay.
So good.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. What I do now, and I've been telling everybody this is my little secret. Take your flour tortillas, and when you can brown those in a skillet, and instead of using oil or butter or something to brown those on each side, take mayonnaise.
Yep.
Ooh.
Dude, I am not shitting you, dude.
Yep, I
I
do
took
that.
mayonnaise and I'll spread on both sides, and what I'll do is it'll fluff up and it'll golden crisp on one side. Then I'll have mayonnaise on this. Then I'll flip it over where it's both sides. Then I'll throw all the goodness in there. And you talking about the most like perfect textured, fluffy, and the bit kind of saltiness because of the mayonnaise. It is the bomb diggity.
Yeah. Well, if you want to make the best grilled cheese in the world, and this is how I won Victoria's heart, actually. Recently, after we started dating, I showed her that because she was talking about how her mom made this great grilled cheese. I said, no. I said, I get that your mom's probably a good cook and all that. I don't think I'd met her parents at this point, but I said, this is how you do it. And I put mayonnaise on the outside of the bread, and now we're married.
Okay. I
1, 2,
like
6.
to, in the oven, put mayonnaise on top of chicken. So juicy, so delicious. You get like the perfect
Damn.
crust on top. And it's like super juicy chicken because the oil and the fat from
Does the mayonnaise
mayonnaise.
crust up a little bit? Mm-hmm. It does. Oh, shit.
Highly recommend. It's delish.
I've even heard, I know it's
With a little bit of cheese on top.
blasphemy. Is this a good word to use? But I think I've seen people do it on steaks before.
I have seen that too.
I've never
I have
tried
done
that.
that on pork chops.
I haven't either. And if I have a good ribeye that costs me some bones, not that I like mayonnaise, but a little still.
No.
You want to stick to what you know and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I've done it on pork chops and it's really good.
But-
instead of mustard,
Yeah,
I needed some sort of good bind.
yeah.
Okay.
What?
Back to reality.
Oh, here goes
His most profound.
Oh, well, we got to start wrapping up, guys. I mean, we're at an hour.
All right, see y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
I've got
Bam.
somewhere to
That's
be.
it.
Good night.
All right, James. It's
All right,
your
so
table.
I want to actually talk about the reason why we did this challenge. I mean, we talked about it and then went into Food Network, which is fine, which is great stuff.
This is James's show.
And we're just living in it.
You're just living. Oh, jeez, Louise.
I'm gonna cut that
can't
out.
with you guys
I'm gonna cut
sometimes.
that out.
I can't with you guys sometimes. Anyways, whenever I was trying to tie it into Casey's point, I thought Victoria was going to have some profound things to say about her
No,
lessons.
my lessons learned are going to be as real as they come.
I thought that you were going to say you learned some deep lessons from that, but nothing.
They were some good lessons learned.
Okay. So another lesson learned. So Casey was talking about mental health and the whole Jocko thing and all that. Of course, that's not who I'm trying to be or anything, but Casey was talking about that aspect of it, of whenever things are hard. Well, I think what's cool about doing these kinds of challenges, and look, you don't got to do this kind of challenge. I mean, this is a really hard challenge, but when you do something even moderately hard, you are training your brain for whenever other hard things happen. And like for me, I had a really hard, so we recorded a mental health podcast a couple weeks ago, and every preacher you ever talk to says, yeah, whenever you give a sermon on patience, God always tests your patience. Well, I had that kind of happen after we recorded that podcast on mental health, and I have another one that's going to release after this episode that I recorded. God's been testing mine. You know, a lot of hard things have happened in my life this last week. I'm not going to go into detail, but I had a lot of hard conversations and a lot of hard just stuff going on in my personal life. This type of stuff makes some of those challenges sound and feel way more minuscule, because it just tells you that no matter where you're at, okay, something happens, there's a setback, there's a drawback. We had a lot of setbacks in our walk, but whenever you do this type of stuff, it's a great metaphor and it's a great way to train your brain to just be tough whenever this stuff happens and know that, all right, one foot in front of the other and we're there. So that's kind of the mental health aspect of it, because there's a lot of people in this industry that they turn to bad things and they don't put one foot in front of the other. They shut down. And that's kind of what we're trying to teach here is you can get through this. So that's the mental health aspect of that. And I'll kind of stop talking about it after this one, but the physical side of it, I'm not saying you got to go out and do shit like this. I'm not saying you got to go run a marathon. I'm not saying you need to go do that. That stuff's really not that healthy. Okay? It's hard on your joints. It is hard on your immune system. It's hard stuff. Now, it will make you mentally strong and mentally tough. Yes, because you have to be mentally tough to do this kind of stuff. But to be healthy, you don't have to do this kind of stuff. Most people are very active in their jobs. But the reason I really harp physical health is because as a blue-collar worker, you're using your joints, you're using your shoulders, you're using your knees, you're using your back.
It's your livelihood.
It's your livelihood, exactly. And you can do things. So whenever you're out there in the real world, you're lifting tires or you're digging holes, you're using those muscles. But also if you train those muscles and you train your core and you go and you at least do some sort of like resistance training, weightlifting, you're going to make those muscles stronger to where you're not going to throw something out whenever you're doing that kind of stuff. And you're going to strengthen your back. I mean, backs are one of the top issues in our industry is people have bad backs. If you go and you do certain things, like put yourself through a hard challenge, like Victoria said, 1 hour of a workout a day, or even every few days, and you just go, even once a week, you go get under the squat rack and do some good form squats, or you go do a few deadlifts. You're training your body to be able to handle this stuff and keep you going longer. And I'm not saying go into the gym and do what a lot of people do and throw as much weight on the bars they can possibly handle, just chasing that high number and trying to look cool and then doing it with terrible form and hurting themselves even more. I'm saying even if you just go do some lightweight, just train your body up to where that way you're not having all these shoulder issues at 35 years old and these back issues at 40 years old. You're strong and you're able to work longer and provide for your family. And not only that, whenever you have these injuries, that it all ties in. Your physical and mental tie in together. If you have a bad back injury, because I've been there and I'm still rehabbing it from over 3 years ago, whenever you have that type of stuff, it puts you in a bad way, man. Especially whenever you can't work or do the things that you love to do because it hurts so much, or you just have to push through it. It gets you in a bad way and it puts you in a bad mental health state. So I'm saying if you train your body and you train your mind, these challenges you have to go through get way easier. And you are able to withstand them. So I just encourage you to do something. Just try. And I also just want to mention diet as far as physical goes. Maybe you don't want to work out. Maybe you bust ass at work every single day. You're active and you say, James, I just don't want to go work out after working 10 to 12 hours in the sun all day. I get it. I really do. At least optimize that activity by nourishing your body with something good. And I'm not saying you have to all the time. I'm not saying you can't be a fat bastard every now and then, need a mayonnaise covered grilled cheese tortilla.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds really good right now.
Well, it does. But what
are you saying
is,
that we can't? You saying we can't eat that?
Yes, sir.
You weren't listening to me at all.
Is that what he was saying?
No.
I said, I'm not saying that. You know, you can still get after that stuff. You can still get after that stuff. I mean, I'm just saying, don't make it your norm. Don't make fast food your norm. Don't make all that crap your norm, man. Actually try to optimize it. And then also, you're not worried about health stuff. You're not up to your eyes in medical bills because you're taking care of yourself. So that's why we did it. That's what we're trying to raise awareness for. That's what we're trying to teach people, is that there's a better way to live. You don't have to live on energy drinks, cigarettes, and gas station burritos or taquitos.
Those are good vices, though. Damn.
They are good vices. So if you want to learn more about that, if you want to talk to me about it, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk to you about it. I've worked with a few listeners of the show and help them kind of improve their life a little better. And I'm happy to do that. So anyways, that's all I have on that rant.
If y'all want to see what's behind the talent, KCD369.
KCD369.
Living
hey,
the blue collar life.
Enjoy your 4th of July, guys. If you're listening on the 4th, like,
and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Yeah. Hey, and just remember too, guys, holiday isn't free. People paid for that with blood, their dues. Enjoy it. Have fun. And also just recognize those that are still working today for us to be able to enjoy it. Grocery store clerks, police, fire, nurses, all those good people out there.
Yeah, and hopefully they're being compensated for it, time and a half or double time, whatever it is.
Well, I was talking to our boy Eric Strubig, and he said he's getting triple time to work today.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang. So he's working on a train.
What do you guys get for working holidays?
I don't know.
Pat on the back.
I never look at, I seriously don't look at what
You just get the paycheck.
Casey hasn't gotten paid in years. He just still works there.
It's like Milton.
It's like Milton from Office Space.
Seriously, I very seldom. There's some people that I need to eyeball every single cent that comes in, but I think it's time and a half.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Well, you probably get like your holiday pay plus.
I think it's your. But we do 12-hour shifts, so it's your regular 12-hour shifts plus 8 hours of paid.
See, I hate that whenever you work a 12-hour shift, but they only pay you.
Yeah, it's like, dude, no. Well, no, in normal is 8 hours.
Yeah, I kind of think that's.
But
screwy.
then again, the more you try to get, hey, you're fortunate to have a job. Okay, so watch how much you push back.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. But anyways, Independence Day. Have fun, guys. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. For the love of God, don't drink and drive. It's too many people die on this holiday.
Not worth it.
Don't blow your hand off with M80s. Or your dick.
Not worth it.
I almost shot my mom with Saturn missiles one time on accident, so
You
don't
what?
do that. You never heard that story?
No.
Yeah, so I had this box of Saturn missiles whenever I was like 12, and I set them up sideways, thought they were upright. Well, there was a big crowd of people watching the kids set off the fireworks on these little boards, and I set them off, and they were sideways, and they shot right at the crowd, and everybody's just like taking cover and like ducking behind picnic tables. Saturn missiles are like bullets.
It's like my grandma accidentally setting off the fireworks underneath the vehicles in Germany.
Dude, we were in Germany on New Year's, which is freaking ridiculous, man. I mean, no laws in Germany on New Year's Eve. And her grandma was setting off mortar shells, and she like tripped and knocked it over, and it shot underneath somebody's car.
And it just goes.
It just went boom underneath their car. Big one.
She was like, shh, don't tell anyone.
She just goes, go inside, go inside.
That was really funny.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, we used to sneak into
Looked like the old Irish car bomb.
We used to sneak into the limestone caves that are behind the Red Barn, behind Ricky's Market.
Yeah.
What? There's limestone caves back there?
Yeah, they mine those to build the Marlin Mansion. And
Oh,
a
I
lot
didn't
of
know
the Marlin things
Yeah.
around here. Well, we used to sneak onto that land when I was young, and we'd have firecracker wars in there because it gets pitch black in there. We'd have teams in certain sections of the caves, and we'd have the Roman candles and shoot those. And it'd be dark, but when you fired off at somebody that was moving, for an instance, you would see where they're at. Then you try to lead them and hit them.
Oh
but then
my
also
God.
we did the Saturn missiles also.
Yeah.
Those were a game changer in there.
Just like machine gun fire.
Yeah, dude. It was like a, what are them Hornets called? The A-10 Hornets, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, man.
So that same box of Saturn missiles, I finally got it upright. Like, it's kind of sketchy. I like crawled up to it and like flipped it upright so it started shooting up. And then it caught a tree on fire.
Okay.
So that's fireworks with James.
Yeah, learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
We're not glorifying any of this.
But thankfully, God willing, I haven't gotten a firework injury and hopefully never will.
Okay, bye.
Well, and also, I have a funny fireworks story. One time, that same day, that party we were at, these kids said, all right, guys, we made a bomb. Everybody needs to stand back. And they like put it into this like mortar tube and they took a bunch of fireworks and put the powder in. They're like, we made this really big one. Everybody stand back. And so like, we're all doing that. We're all standing back and ready. So they light it off and it just turned into a big fountain. It's just like, wow. So anyways, Casey, final thoughts?
By God.
By God. Victoria?
Bye.
God. All right, guys. Give us a 5-star review. I think Victoria's protein pancake recipe is worth it. Happy Independence Day.